Hello everybody, my name is Jimmy Smith and welcome to the beginner's version of the key grape variety Cabernet Sauvignon. So if you are looking for a more in-depth version, we do have an advanced version of Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a basic introduction beginner's version to Cabernet Sauvignon. Okay, so just a few things to begin with. So my name is Jimmy Smith. I have a social media handle which is @WineWithJimmy. Please, if you have any comments or questions, please get in touch. I'm also the owner of one of the UK's leading wine school facilities. That's West London Wine School, also South London Wine School, and then also a really wonderful, cool wine bar with a big list of wines called Streatham Winehouse down in South London. We do huge amounts of tastings and courses. Please check them out on all of our websites. So let's go into Cabernet Sauvignon. Let's go into what it is like. So a bit of history, where it is found, and the style of what it's like, Cabernet Sauvignon. So Cabernet Sauvignon is thought to be from the southwest of France. This is a place around the Gironde estuary called Bordeaux. That is south of La Rochelle, north of the Pyrenees, in a region called Aquitaine. Okay, the grape variety has in fact travelled very well. It's now found all the way around the world. It is the biggest planted black grape variety for wine production in the world, but it is from Bordeaux originally. It's a grape that needs heat, it needs warmth and good sunlight. So you'll find it in areas that are normally warm to hot. So Bordeaux, for instance, is a warm climate. Okay, hot climates like Australia, most of Australia, Napa, Argentina, Chile, they will also cultivate a lot of Cabernet Sauvignon. It needs that as it needs a nice long ripening season, so you need good warmth behind it. It quite likes quite rocky soils, gravel or pebbles, where it can drain very well. So if there is rainfall, the water will drain easily through the soils. That's because Cabernet can suffer when there's too much water around. So it does quite like these well-drained based soils. The grape itself is quite small, but with nice big thick skins full of colour, full of tannin, that's the bitter, the phenolic, and also acid within the grape itself. So the wines, therefore, that are produced are often towards quite deep in colour, quite colourful, and then also quite structurally tannic and bitter, and also quite acidic. Sounds all quite intense, and that is Cabernet, and that's why often winemakers will have to work with it, or blend it, or age it, to actually make it more palatable for us, the consumer. Often, one thing, like I just mentioned, for a winemaker, winemakers will try and make the grape variety a little bit more accessible, and that's often by fermenting it in oak barrels and maturing it in oak barrels, being new or old, and that's to increase the oxygen contact to soften things like tannin. So this is very commonplace for Cabernet to make them a bit more approachable. Also, to make them more approachable, there's a big list of grape varieties which you can find it blended with. Its sibling, its half sibling, Merlot, is actually one that's commonly found with. Merlot will help tame the tannin and the acid, just softening it out a bit. So Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot are common blending partners in places like Bordeaux, but also Argentina, Australia, Chile, and California. There are many other grape varieties as well that are used for it. Please, if you want more information, check out our advanced version of Cabernet Sauvignon. And also, because of its tannin, because of its acid, because of its density of flavour, Cabernet can age over years. The very best examples well into the decades of sort of 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So they are wines that develop complexity and tertiary characteristics with time. So a really good grape to age. It comes from France, of course. It comes from Bordeaux and the southwest, but also found around the Languedoc area of France, where there's a significant amount produced there as well. Chile is the second biggest in the world, producing a lot of affordable varietal, so Cabernet on its own, or blended versions with big brand names like Casillero del Diablo, the Devil's Cellar. California, made famous in the 1970s by the judgment of Paris, has a significant production of Cabernet Sauvignon. Australia, certainly around Southeast Australia, is very important for both affordable ones blended with Shiraz, but also some very premium ones as well. Spain, often blended and found around central Spain, that's Castilla-La Mancha, and Argentina around Mendoza, which is the biggest wine region of Argentina. You will find a sizable amount. Grape variety is very much loved around the world because it has these really deep characteristics, lots of dark black currant, cassis, black cherry notes, which are quite wonderful, and they stay quite fresh for quite some time. It's also quite, can be oaky, of course, with cigar, tobacco, and cedar, and often has a little green touch. Something like mint or green pepper may be found within it, and all the variants of those. So it is a grape that has a lot of capability, a lot of character, and can have a lot of ability to age. And that's why it is quite a famous varietal, making famous Bordeaux's. So that's the beginner's version of Cabernet Sauvignon. Once again, if you want more information, the time of this presentation, around 13, 14 minutes, actually I think a bit more than that, is the advanced version, just above 15. So you'll find lots more information about the history, the etymology, where it's from, etc. in that presentation. Please, any comments, any questions, drop us some information at Wine with Jimmy, West London Wine, South London Wine, and Streatham Wine House. That is my 2 wine schools and the bar. So please do get in touch. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.